Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome to my talk about the digital euro and central bank digital currencies. I'm Svetlana Abramova, and this is a joint work with my colleagues from the University of Innsbruck and the Austrian Central Bank. So central banks around the globe are now exploring the option of issuing a retail central bank digital currencies. All these projects, they actually differ quite a lot in terms of the interpretations of the CBDC, as well as the economic and technical design options. However, many of these approaches, they did not consider the user perspective. And that's what we tried to address in our study, and we tried to close this research gap. So we partnered together with the Austrian Central Bank, and we did a representative study of the Austrian population. Just for the context, Austria is a well-developed country in the Central Europe with about 9 million residents. In this study, we have surveyed about 2,000 respondents in the age from 16 and older, and we use computer-assisted telephone and computer-assisted web interviews in the sum of 2021. And it's important to note here that we are talking about a representative sample of the Austrian population. What's interesting about Austria is actually the population is quite cash affine. So many people in Austria use cash payments. And also the Austrian Chancellor just mentioned last week that the cash or the right to pay with cash could be enriched or enshrined in the Constitution. So just to give you some results up front, we actually found out that the digital euro, it's not an easy project to sell. So in our sample, only about 54 respondents think that central bank digital currency will be of interest to them. And only about 20% say that actually it may bring some personal advantages. So you may argue that actually, like talking about a hypothetical technology could be prone to many biases, also framing biases. Yes, it's true, and we try to alleviate this with our method and approach. So basically, we reassure all our participants in the beginning of the survey that digital euro will be issued by the central bank. It will complement cash, but never replace it. And one digital euro would have the same value as 1 euro in cash. And digital euro payments will be free of charge, secure, and convenient. And with this introduction, we set the contents for the entire survey. So the survey itself consisted of different parts. First, we asked about existing payment options and tech affinity of our respondents. Then there was a block on central bank digital currency, on the digital euro, the perceptions and payment preferences, as well as on security and privacy features. Of course, we didn't ask this block of questions to those people who were not interested in the offer of a digital euro. We also had a block of questions on cryptocurrencies, especially or mostly for those people who have some experience or who own some cryptocurrency. We did it because we think that cryptocurrency people, they could be informative in terms of the design options for central bank digital currency. And also we had a block on trust perceptions. What's interesting about analysis is that we have 3 different consumer types. So we can see the cryptocurrency owners, cash-affine users, and tech-savvy users. Cryptocurrency owners, we believe that they understand some of the selected technical features, which might be then used in the design of the digital euro. Cash-affine users, as I said, Austria has quite a large proportion of cash-affine users, and also cash-affine users may have different payment preferences when it comes to the use of digital euro. And tech-savvy people, they could be informative because tech-savvy people prefer these new cutting-edge innovations, and maybe they would be opinion leaders when it comes to the adoption of the digital euro. So with these 3 special consumer types, we try to understand the differences between these 3 groups. So what we did, we ran a series of multivariate logistic regressions, and for each analysis, we used 4 different specifications, as you can see in these 4 different columns. What's important is that, like the first 2 columns, they are given here just for the interpretation of the 3rd column. So what's important about logistic regressions, and in particular in this case, the dependent variable as well as all the predictors, these are binary variables. And in the third regression, we actually look at the differences between these three different consumer types while controlling also for the socioeconomic variables. And in the last fourth column, we also included some important behavioral predictor variables like hoarding of cash important or anonymity of cash important. For the sake of interoperability, we do not report here the raw logistic regression coefficients, but we report here the average marginal effects from these regressions. And for example, here we can see that for the group of cash-affine users, if the average marginal effects, we can interpret this that cash-affine users are more likely, or exactly 33 percentage points more likely to say that the cash should keep its current relevance when compared to non-cash-affine users. So let's look at these results. The first statement was whether cash should keep its current relevance, and as we can see here, this particularly important for cash-affine users. So here you also see the color coding, basically the different grades, shades of orange. They represent different significance level, and blue, it means that this predictor variable is not significant. So cash-affine users are in favor of keeping, of course, cash. Also those people who think that hoarding of cash important as well as anonymity, and also older people, older segments of the population prefer to have cash as a payment option. Then we ask whether people are interested in the introduction of digital euro, and here the main results is that cash-affine users as well as female users and older groups, they're not so interested in the digital euro, whereas tax-heavy persons, they would love to see this as another payment option. We also ask about different types, how we can access actually the digital euro, and in literature and also in policy discussions, there are two basic approaches. One, you can give the digital euros as tokens, so it means that if you lose this token, then there is no way that you can recover it. And the second option is so-called account-like digital euro, which is close to opening an account with a bank, and then if something happens, you still have like an option to get your money lost. But however, in this case, all your payments will be linked to your identity and will be traceable, so basically there is not so much anonymity. And we presented these two different descriptions to our respondents, and then we asked which of these variants they would like to prefer, so whether they would like to disclose their identity and then open an account to keep the risk of loss low, or whether they would prefer a cash-like digital euro, so the one which is based on the idea of digital tokens. And with this regard, we have found that, for example, you can see here that most people, they actually prefer account-based access. So here, if we look at the mean value, we see that only 26% would like to have a token-based access model. And also, we see that female participants, they are more in favor of a account-based access model. We also ask about the importance of having offline functionality. So, for example, when there is no network coverage, and here the main results is that especially tech-savvy persons, they would like to have this as a feature of the digital euro. When it comes to person-to-person functionality, we can see here that for female and older groups of the population, it's not that much important, and as well as for cash-affine users. However, for tech-savvy and cryptocurrency owners, they'd like to have this functionality. So we also ask about the importance of different features, security and privacy features, and here you see the ranking. So basically, we had 3 security-related features: high security against fraud and theft, recoverability after device or password theft, and possibility to dispute and undo payments. And then also we had these 3 privacy-related features. So mostly we can see here that security against fraud and theft is the most desirable or the most significant and essential attribute of the digital euro for our respondents. When it comes to the strict protection of personal data, whether like respondents think that the digital euro should preserve protection of personal data, we can see that it's particularly important for female and older population. And also the question on whether transactions should be untraceable, we can see that it's of particular relevance for cryptocurrency owners. And I think it's related to the fact that cryptocurrency owners know the limitations about traceability and untraceability of payments with cryptocurrency. So to summarize our main results, we can see that actually there is a disconnect between what policymakers think and what kind of ambitions they make and consumer demand for the CBDC. So as you can see, Austria is quite a developed country, and it has developed electronic payment options, and the Austrian residents, they do not see particular interest or benefit from using the digital euro. We also call for a more user-centric and empirically founded CBDC design. So it's important to involve a user perspective when it comes to the design and the elaboration of different design options for the introduction of the digital euro or any other CBDC. Also, there are some caveats related to the introduction of CBDC, like social benefits in terms of stability and privacy. They are not evident to many of the potential users. And also the widespread adoption of a digital euro is far from certain. So it might be the case that if the user perspective is not considered to a good extent, then the digital euro project will fail to live to its expectation. And when it comes to the research impact, and also related to the previous talk, I do want to believe that our research has some impact in the end. So you can see here that just like 1.5 months ago, there was a legislative proposal published by the European Commission, and the European Central Bank and the European Commission commented on this proposal, saying that a digital euro is a necessary step to ensure that the EU monetary system keeps with digital advances, and the digital euro will be widely accessible, easy to use, while preserving privacy. And there are key design requirements mentioned in this proposal, that the digital euro should be or must be available to everyone, everywhere, and for free, should provide online and offline payments, as well as high data privacy standards, and that cash will remain important. And basically, some of these statements, I think they are based, or they are based on the results that we have done, or we have established in our survey. So thank you very much for your attention, and if there is time left, I am happy to take any of your questions.